up, party people? Matt Lehman, the owner of SpatulaCityRecords.com, for all of your vinyl needs. We keep our vinyl addiction going by feeding your vinyl addiction. So please go to our website. I would like to introduce, I am honored, I am happy and excited to introduce our first and quite possibly the only guest on Spatula City's YouTube channel. This is Jason Herring. Jason Herring is out of North Carolina? Raleigh?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
About 15, 20 minutes from North. We're close enough.
You're pretty close. So we met through mutual love of Weird Al. He came across Spatula City Records Instagram. We immediately became friends. This is the first time we've actually talked, well, as face-to-face as you can get on Zoom. We're on Instagram a lot and we text back and forth or message back and forth, but just our love of Weird Al and love of music, we've become pretty decent friends. And I did this because I'm kind of trying to figure out where I want my YouTube channel to go. I've kind of done everything that I think I can with helping people fix things or fixing records. And I don't want to be the guy that sits here and says, hey, look at this really cool record. Hey, look at this really cool record, because there's a lot of that out there. But I know there's a lot of people out there that have really cool stories that have found really great records in the wild. And I don't want to sit here and tell you all my stories. I'll intersperse them, but I'm going to try to bring on people that have their own stories, and that way we can kind of, you know, connect that way. But also I want to show you this. This was one of my, let's see if I can pull this up. This is one of my Christmas presents from my wife. Jason, I know, is a huge country music fan, and this is What Would Dolly Do, which is Dolly. I'm a big Dolly part, and I'm actually getting pretty heavy into country because there's a lot of country music in Arizona. I mean, I find a lot of country and religious records. So take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jason.
Man, I've been a music fan since I have been born. My dad was a guitar player and singer, and ever since I was little, one of my favorite things to do was my aunt had a huge, I call it a record collection, but basically it was just Goodwill and Salvation Army and yard sale crap mostly. And it was so fun to dig through it. She would just bring boxes and boxes home, and I'd spend a lot of time at her house. So that was one of my favorite things to do, was going and just sitting in her floor, and she'd let me flip and take home all kinds of stuff. That's how I became a Ventures fan, by the way. My dad liked the Ventures, so I remember finding a Ventures album and saying, hey, I remember those. My dad's talked about the Ventures.
Anytime anytime I find a Ventures album, you know, I go to you first, because you must have one of the largest Ventures record collection out there. And that's saying a lot, because they've released, I don't know how many records they've released, but it is certainly a lot. Every time I find a collection, I'm like, oh, I've seen all the, oh geez, there's a Ventures record I haven't seen. So they got a ton. Real fast.
I love them. Yeah.
I can't tell because there's a glare on it, but is that a Gretsch behind you?
No, I have 3 guitars hanging on my wall to look like a musician. This is it's an Austin. It's basically like a no-name pawn shop guitar.
Okay.
I have 3, for the most part, no-name cheap guitars hanging on my wall, but they have a little story behind each one.
Nice.
And they're pretty, so that's what they're there for.
With the glare, it looks fantastic in that room, because the glare makes it look like it's a Gretsch, because I can't see the top of that. I can't see the headstock, but
it's a Gretsch. Yeah, it's a Gretsch.
Right. As far as anybody's going to tell, it's a Gretsch. So, all right. So the last video, which is up, I talked about my Madonna collection that I came across, which was hands down the biggest find for me. I have another one coming up, which if you follow my Instagram, a lot of people have seen it, but I haven't really talked about it, which is the Revs, that punk record that I found. And I'll talk about that maybe next week or the week after. But anyway, so please regale us with one of your stories of one of your greatest record finds.
Well, can I tell you 3 super quick stories? Instead of one.
You have 26 minutes.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Well, this is not a story, but it's literally, I just picked it up today and pretty excited about it. It's not rare, but it's been on my most wanted list for a long time, only because it's probably one of my favorite album covers of all time.
It's a good cover.
And I don't like the album. Huh?
It's a good cover. I don't know. It looks like Joan Jett, but I don't know who it is.
Yep. Joan Jett.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't like the album that much, the music on it. I just love the album cover. So I wanted this.
Do you generally like Joan Jett, or just that cover alone?
Okay, I'm not a huge fan, but when I saw this album, it's just the album cover. I don't care if it was, polka music.
She's fairly known for that pose. She's always, that pose is on a couple different jacket covers, like on the backs or something, maybe on the inserts.
Cool. So anyway, I just picked that up today. I was excited about that. So one of my stories is I'm on Facebook Marketplace, slightly addicted because things are posted and gone so quickly on there. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So I saw this vinyl record lot, come get it. It was $10. I knew it was going to be garbage, but I thought if there's just one or two decent records in the boxes, it's worth $10 and it's fun. So my wife and I, we went. It was in, I think it was in Charlotte, which is about 20 minutes from where I live, and we loaded up and we went. She said it was a porch pickup. I think I Venmo'd her or PayPal her the money, and it was, again, I even confirmed. I said, "Are you sure it's $10?" She said, "Yep. You just have to take them all."
That's pretty.
So I knew it was going to be.
That's pretty sketchy that you don't know how many people have Venmo'd her $10 and are racing to her driveway. I mean, you assume that you're the only one, but you don't know. I mean, obviously you can get it back if it's Venmo or PayPal, but what a hassle. I mean, that's a scam. Is say $10, and by the time you get back home, you're like, it's not even worth the $10 to call PayPal in. But that's
Exactly.
Those are the good ones where you don't know. You're like, all right, let's do it. Let's give it a shot. See what happens.
Well, it was the fact that she said that, and she said you have to take them all, and she said you can use them for crafts, whatever you want to do. And I was like, okay, I know it's garbage. It's got to be probably stinks, no telling what. So I pulled up, and my wife's, I was driving. I hopped out. There was two big boxes. They were, I don't know if you can see, they were big,
Yeah.
good sized boxes.
It's not like a record box. It's like a small U-Haul box, which usually hold about 100 records.
Yes, exactly. And the first thing I looked in were two of these, which I gave one to a friend, and I already had one. It was two of these, and I said, "Ooh, hey, that's not garbage,
Yeah.
And I picked it up as quick as I could. I started trying to get it to the car as fast as I could before somebody else, either realized what was in the box or wanted it. And then I saw two or three Beatles records. I saw Bob Dylan. I saw trying to think of what the first ones I really noticed. I know the Springsteen and the Beatles first. So this was also in the box. Found that.
Woo, nice.
Yep, super clean. Copy of that.
Whoa. And, I didn't know that was in there.
$10. And I was like, this is, and I even, after I got them, I think that you and I have had this conversation before. I never want to take advantage of people. I'm always scared of that. And again, she's wanting no part of this. She told me they're in the driveway. You have to come pick them up. I even sent her another message. I said, "Are you sure $10?" And she said, "Yep." I said, "All right, thank you very much." And that was a done deal, and I was gone.
That's fantastic. See, and that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that you're on this as one of the first guests. And I talked about this a little bit on the last episode, is ethics come into play a lot in used records. And I'm the guy that, like, if I walk into a garage sale and you have a copy of, for example, Beatles Butcher cover, and it's a third state, you don't know what it is, and you're asking $2 for it, I'm not the dude that's going to give you $2 for it. Because if I give you a proper value of it, say, hey, this record's worth anywhere from $300 to $2,000 depending on the condition of it, I'm not going to retire off of that. I'm not going to sleep well at night if I know if I screwed you out on a $2. And I'll give you the option. Say, hey, look, I think it's worth, probably in this condition, it's worth probably $500. I said, I'm going to give you $300 because I know I can flip it fast. But if you want to take the time and effort and sell it on eBay yourself, you'll probably get a little bit more for it. But just know it's going to be a headache for you because you have to know how to grade and all that. If you want to learn that, go ahead and grade. You'll make some more money. But realistically, and most of the times they'll say, "Oh, I'll just take $200 or $300. Thank you so much."
Yeah.
And you also make a contact when you do that, because I'll give them a business card and say, "Hey, if you have any friends or anybody that have records, please let me know, because I don't want you to." I can't do that. I can't do that to somebody. I'm in a position in my life where I'm comfortable, and I'm never going to be a billionaire. I'm never going to be a millionaire, but I know that I can live comfortably, and I don't need that extra $300. But the ethics of that come into question, because at what point do you decide it's okay? Like if you go into a Goodwill and they're asking $3 for a $70 record, do you go up to the counter and say, "Hey man, this is
yeah.
I don't know." And I've done the same thing. Like the Madonna collection was a good example. I bought twice from him. He called me back and said, "Hey, we found more boxes." I went back the second time and said, "Hey, these are worth a little bit more than I thought. Here's some money." And then when I realized what they were, a week later, he lived a block away from me. I went over to find him and say, "Hey, look, dude, man, this collection was worth way more than I thought it was worth. Nothing, but it ended up being worth thousands and thousands of dollars. I owe you money." And I can't find him. He had moved out and he was gone. I was like, well, you know what? I have to look at it as I gave him everything he offered. I didn't lowball him on it. And it is what it is. But at the same time, if I could find him, I'd give him more money. But that's the ethics of it really fall into where you are as a person. So, but I agree, man. I couldn't screw somebody over like that.
Yeah, see, I'm not a dealer. As a matter of fact, that collection I'm talking about, I've not sold a single record out of that box. I told you I gave a friend of mine one of those Springsteens, and I didn't mean I just gave it to him. But I would have a really hard time if that were an actual deal, and she wanted me to come look at them and say, "Hey, what would you give me for it?"
Right.
There's no way I would give her $10. I wouldn't sleep, like you said. I got way more of a. I probably worry too much about it, to be honest, at times.
I do that. I get called on. I get calls for Spatula City all the time, and I go out to people's houses and see that all the time. And I'm like, "Hey, man, I'll even tell people, it's like, look, this is my offer." I said, and especially the flip of that is true too, because you'll get to somebody's house and they're like, "Well, I looked up this Ventures album and it sells for $800 on eBay." And you're like, "Well, first of all, it's a test press that's signed by every member that was ever made in the Ventures, and it was whatever." You're like, that's not what you have. And I'll say, "Hey, look, this is my offer for your collection. I think," and if I'm the first one here, I said, "By all means, call all the other people." And I'll say, "Here are the numbers of the other people you can call them and see if they can beat my offer." I said, and I'm saying that because I know that my offer is beyond fair, because I can sell the $3 stuff. That my bread and butter for Spatula City are those $3 and $5 records. Whereas most record stores don't want the Herb Alberts. They don't want the Ventures, the Sergio Mendes. Those are gold for me. But so I know where I'm at with them. But so it goes on both sides of the fence, but I don't know.
Well, speaking of the Ventures, this Gretsch used to belong to the Ventures.
I'm
if
sure.
You're interested in purchasing it, I'll give you a deal on it if you want.
I believe, is that the one that's on the cover of Ventures a Go-Go? It looks like it might be. Again, I can't really tell because of the glare, but it looks like it might be on the cover of a Go-Go.
It is, and it's signed on. I can't show you the signatures right now, but I can show it to you later.
Hey, don't take it off the wall.
Okay.
If anybody's interested in buying that Gretsch guitar from Jason, I'll give you. You can find him as Jason_Todd_Herring on Instagram, and I'm sure he'll make you one heck of a deal.
Oh man, I'll ship it for free. This is another one I recently this year I found at Goodwill, 50 cents. And it looks like it's never been played. Now, I'm sure it's not an original. I just grabbed it because I thought, man, there's no way this is staying behind.
Does it have a gold promo on the top? Over the barcode on the back? Top right corner on the back.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Almost all of those that I see have the gold promo stamp on them. And even the UHF copy that I had signed by him at a concert, he looked at the UHF and he looked for it. He's like, "There's no punches or promos on this." He's like, "Wow." He's like, "Somebody actually bought this."
Wow.
He was surprised.
Yeah, see, I have a couple copies of this, and none of them have that promo.
Well, all right. Maybe it's another one.
My favorite Weird Al record. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's the first record I ever purchased on Discogs. When I started to get back into collecting, I was like, "Man, I gotta get this one." So I went to Discogs, and it was kind of turned out to be a piece of garbage. You can see it's torn up, but I didn't know what to look for. And the only track on it that's damaged at all, it's big scratch, "Mr. Popeil," my favorite song on the album. And I was like, "Man, no, this is not good." So,
I'd offer you one of the 12 copies that I have, but it clearly you already have enough. So
yeah, I'm taking care of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my favorite story, probably. Of my personal collecting was Facebook Marketplace. I actually set out to find a copy of this.
That's a tough one to come by. Both of those are tough Weird Al albums to come by.
Yeah, I think I may have shared this story with you. I'm sorry you have to hear it again, but this guy was in Johnson City, Tennessee, and he had this album for sale for $20, and he was asking $8 to ship it. And I thought, yeah, that's fair. And it said it was in perfect condition. Well, as I was looking through his items for sale, I also saw this. And it was also $20. And I was like, man, $20, holy cow. So he told me he was a big Weird Al fan. And we actually chatted back and forth a lot about Weird Al and stuff. And then he tells me, he said, I don't take PayPal or Venmo. You have to send me a money order. And I was like, a money order? Man, what in the world? This is like 1992. I don't remember the last time I bought a money order. So I thought, could it be a scam? I mean, who in the world would set up a scam with Weird Al records? Like,
yeah,
come on, So I thought, I think I'm good.
and on top of it, you didn't even see the UHF at first. So I mean, it's
No, yeah, not at all. Matter of fact, let's see if there is a punch in this one.
yeah. So
Yeah,
he's right.
that's funny.
That's the second rarest Weird Al album.
Yeah. What's then the first is Peter yeah.
Peter Wolf or Peter the Wolf.
Yeah.
I picked up one of those Peter the Wolves on a website that I refuse to give out right now because it's one of my honey holes, and I picked it up for $12, and it was sealed.
Man.
It was sealed.
Yeah.
And so
I'll trade you this Gretsch.
That's a deal. That's a deal.
Yeah. Wow, $12.
Those UHF albums, actually, all the Weird albums have gone up. I'm not the biggest Weird Al fan. I'm a big Weird Al fan, but I am probably the one that knows the value of his records better than anyone, because for the first year or actually before the pandemic, I was on all the websites buying as many Weird Al albums as I could for the post that I did on Instagram, where I filled all of my store with Weird Al records. So I needed quite a few of them. So I knew the prices, and anytime something went on eBay for buy it now for cheaper than what it was, or I thought if I was going to sell it, which I sold a few, but most of them I kept, I was like, at least I'll be able to make my money back on it so I can get the post. But the UHF ones were incredibly hard to find. I only found, I think, 3 of them. And at that time, I could pick one up for just shy of $100, usually about 75, $80. And I was pretty excited to find one at that. Now if you can find one for, what is it, like $150, that's pretty fair market on them. So it's insane. And that the box set that got us friends was obviously the Weird Al box set. That thing has exploded. I picked one up after you contacted me, because I actually had a record store and I saw that it was coming out, and I was like, at the time, I think it was like $300, and I was like, I'm not going to spend $300. I already have all the albums that
I hate myself for not grabbing it when it was.
I hate myself for not grabbing 5 of them, dude.
Terrible, yeah.
You can't even find one for under $1,000 now, barely. There's cassette, or the CD ones are $600 to $800, but I don't know. So you want to tell them about your Hank Williams lot that hasn't come in yet?
It hadn't come in yet, man. That was another thing you were talking about, the ethics and stuff. The ladies, long story, I'll try to tell it as quickly as possible. It was a lot of 4 Hank Williams Jr. albums. I'm a big Hank Williams Jr. fan, especially back in my younger days. I was a huge fan. And all 4 of these, I didn't have any of them. And I thought, I didn't even know they were printed on vinyl. They were some of his 90s releases. And I found out they were club releases only through Columbia House. So I went on Discogs and I went on eBay, and every one I found was like crazy high. So she said, I did the buy it now option, and she ended up giving me my money back. And I sent her a message and I said, hey, I don't know what happened. I thought I purchased them. And she said, my neighbor has claimed them already, but I'll let you know if they back out. And you and I both, I told you about it. I'll never hear from her again. 2 days later, she messaged me back and she said, hey, they're all yours if you want them. So I was like, man, that's awesome. So I chatted with her a little bit. My dog keeps wanting to come over here. I chatted with her a little bit, and she ended up, I sent her the Venmo. She told me shipping cost. I gave her a little bit more money, just not much, but just a little bit more, just kind of make it an even number. And today I ended up getting $10 back from her. And she said, hey, you gave me a tip to send it media mail, and it saved me money. And she said it was cheaper than what I thought it was going to be. So here's $10 back of your money. And I was like, man, I feel like I owe you more money. Like, it's crazy. So she sent me a tracking number. Yeah.
Did you say the Hank Williams records were from the 90s?
It was ones. I could probably tell you exactly what years if my mind would slow down a bit.
I'm just trying to figure, because I mean, Columbia House was on its downward spiral at that point. I mean, I was doing the same thing that everybody was doing in Columbia House in the 90s in college, sending it to your roommate and then saying he doesn't live there. But I was doing it for CDs. I didn't even know they were still doing vinyl. I mean, even I guess into the 80s, but that's
well, I know one of them had Clint Black on it, and Clint Black was kind of, this is early. I'm pretty sure it was early 90s, these releases, 2 of them. But anyway, one of them was a compilation and one was a greatest hits, but I still didn't have any of those. So I was pretty excited. But if when they get here, and if they're all in one piece and in good condition, I think I'm gonna slip her a little bit more money, just because she was super nice and she helped me out. and she seemed to be honest and everything. So it was a good deal.
Oh yeah, we talked quite a bit about it. Like, oh, she's blowing smoke. She's saying her neighbor. I was like, how many neighbors do you have that listen to Hank Williams and happen to walk in and be like, hey, you got Hank Williams records for sale? I'll take them. Like, nah, she posted them and found out that they were worth a lot more. But shows you what I know, nothing. But
well, we'll see. I haven't got here yet. I ordered one over for my daughter for Christmas, and it was the first record I ever got in a bag, wrapped in bubble wrap. And I opened it. I was like, when it came in, I was like, man, this ain't good. There's no way this thing's gonna be in one piece. And I got lucky. It wasn't warped or anything.
Was that where did you buy that from? Facebook? eBay, Discogs. I mean, they're all.
I think it was Marketplace. Sure was. But it was a brand new record. It was a Disney record, and it was perfect. So I got lucky.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. I really appreciate you coming out and sitting down and telling your stories. Again, everybody, this is Jason Todd Herring, Jason_Todd_Herring. He's a fan. He doesn't mention it, but he's a fantastic singer and songwriter. If you're in the borders of Carolinas, south and north, and he's out there, definitely go check him out. Follow his Instagram. And yeah, for sure. I think you're extremely talented. And I've said from day one, when you get a CD, I'm not going to say vinyl because there's no way you're going to get vinyl pressed in the next 5 years. But if you get a CD or anything, I am more than happy to distribute it as best I can, or at least get a couple compilations. I've said this before, if I can find a couple artists and somebody wants to take the time and the effort, I'll foot the bill. If I can get like 10 artists that want to put 2 songs on a CD, I'll put a CD in every box that I put out for free, so that you can get your music out there. And I will pay for the printing. I'll pay for that. I'm not going to master it because I don't know how to do that, but I'll be more than happy to foot the bill, and I'll put it in everyone so everybody gets a chance at your music. And what is it? This year we shipped out 8,000 boxes. Last year we shipped out 6. So we're going up. So that's 8,000 potential customers or fans to pick up your music.
Now you say boxes. Do you use boxes, or do you use bags and bubble wrap?
I use boxes. I have 4 different types of boxes. I have the white cross boxes that everybody uses for my cheap records. I have the mighty mailers, which are these are the good ones. These are the mighty mailers. These come from bags, and they have the edges on them so that your records don't get stiff. And then I have ginormous boxes that I double box for anybody that.
I was kidding about the bag and bubble wrap, by the way. I know you don't do that. I was kidding.
Well, I use bubble wrap a little bit, but yeah, not like I don't ship in black plastic bags, if that's what you're asking.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Here, let me do that. That's where that one went. But anyway, thank you so much, and appreciate it. Good luck down in South Carolina, and hopefully sometime I'll get down there and check you in, and maybe I'll go see Noble as well. But have a happy New Year. Thanks again, man. As always, Spatula City.
You too.
Yep. Buy 9, get 1 free, and free shipping on orders of $50 or more. All of our records are ultrasonically clean. Peace out. Stop recording that.